What's going on, everybody? Anybody? What do we got in there? Oh, yeah. Just sitting in here bored. Waiting on them to finish fixing the truck. What's up, D-Man 68? Will he survive? Oh, nobody's in here. Jimmy Gross.
What are you doing, old man?
What's up, big dog?
Just stop, take my dog outside, and I'm going to do a striptease and take off my jacket and go back on the road.
Listen to you, listen to you.
Hey, you know what?
Jeez.
That's what it's about, you know.
Yeah, I'm over here waiting on them to finish putting a new spider and spindle on my trailer axle.
Hey, they're still not done yet.
Oh, they finally. So, this is the thing. Last night they talked about, oh, well, you know, all you need is an S cam and a bushing kit. And I'm like, okay, so fucking order it. They're like, well, there's nobody open. I'm like, okay, so we'll get it Monday morning, right? They're like, yeah. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. They're like, yeah, we'll order it first thing Monday morning. Great, awesome. Monday morning, today, blah, 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 wake up. I'm like, 7:45, I still ain't heard from them. I call them, I'm like, hey, what's the deal? Why haven't we ordered the, here's it at? They turn around, they say, yeah, no, we haven't ordered it yet, but we're working on it. Yeah, okay. Calls me back 15 minutes later, and he's like, hey, so, we need to, we're probably going to have to send that S cam out and have it measured. And I'm like, yeah, that's no different than any other time. Like that, duh. I've never, ever changed S cams and not had to take it and have it measured to make sure that it was the right S cam.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, that's par for the course, whatever. Next thing you know, I get a phone call, and she's like, yeah, they're saying you need a whole new spider. And I'm like, how did we go from a bushing and S cam to a whole new spider and spindle now? And I'm like, fuck, here we go. So then this guy's trying to tell me, and I go back there, and he's back there, and I'm like, so how do we know that we need a whole new spider and spindle? Because he hadn't even taken the hub off yet.
Huh.
And he's like, oh, I can just tell by looking at it. I'm like, you can see through the hub?
Yeah, you're pretty good.
You know,
man.
you're not going to bully me like you did my text last night. I'm like, bully who? What are you talking about bullying, dude? I asked what needed to be done. They said what needed to be done. I said, so order the parts. Isn't that giving a fucking approval? Duh. You know.
Yeah.
So go through, and I understood completely. I was like, well, so what are we doing? Like, do I need to move? Can I stay here? They're like, no, you can sleep in the truck right where it's at. I'm like, all right, bet, cool. So, yeah, then I go back there and he starts out. I'm like, what are you talking about bullying, dude? I approved them and told them to fix it. He said, well, then why the hell is it? Why don't we have it? Why haven't you put a new spindle and spider on? I said,
You tell me.
nothing was said about that. I mean, if you wanted me to go spend $6,000, dude, you're gonna have to show me something.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not just spending $6,000 to spend $6,000.
No.
So then he's like, well, you know what? We're just going to chain your axle up and get you out of our way. I'm like, great. Here we go. Absolutely fantastic. So then I go in there and I ask the lady this. I'm like, what the hell is going on, dude? You know, and she's like, well, they say this. And I'm like, well, I don't understand why when we haven't measured anything. You can't tell me without measuring that bushing is not going to fit in the fucking hole.
Right.
Not without a measurement. And it wasn't worn like it was, you know, it's going to wallow around in there by 1/4 of an inch.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. It was, the thing of it is, when I just had the guy who's here to do it, we're now waiting on them to get back with the S-Cam, which they left 3 hours ago that they left with the S-Cam.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah. And they're supposedly only going right down the road to get it. So this dude's sitting here waiting around to finish welding this up, you know, because he can't weld the spider on until he knows what spider to use, you know, to double check with the S-Cam and stuff. So he's held up. I'm held up. Yeah. Welcome to TA in Wildwood, Florida, folks.
Oh, that's what I was wondering. My next question. Where are you?
TA in Wildwood, baby.
Hold on, let me see how far I am from you. Let me see if I'm
Well, the
by
thing
you.
is this. I will say this. At least it happened today because April called me and told me, she says, hey, don't worry about going over. You better call me before you go. And I was like, what do you mean? And she said, the belt's broke. They're broke down. They're not going to unload you today, probably.
Are you saying Wildwood, you say?
Wildwood, yeah. 329,
Okay.
dog. 75 Chrome Shop. You know where I'm at.
I think you are. I'll stop by.
All right, well, if I'm still here, you coming through when, tomorrow?
No, in 2 hours.
Oh, well, I'll still be here, dog, because I don't think I'm getting unloaded today.
No, I'm 40 miles away. It's on my way. I gotta go to
yeah,
Miami.
you're 2 hours and 10 minutes out, probably 2 hours out. Like you said, you're close.
Yeah, I gotta go to Miami, so I can see you for like 10, 15 minutes. I gotta go. But at least I can see your face. So make sure you smell good, okay?
Oh, I'll go in and shave and look pretty for you there. All right, Fabio? I'll look pretty for you. I will, don't worry.
Oh, we're going to be stuff.
So what I'll have to do what we'll have to do is then, if you're going to be here in about 2 hours, dog, you got to give me about 30 minutes to go in and get my shower and stuff so that I smell good and everything. So.
Yeah, that's all right. Well, I got to take a shower, but I'll take a shower later on this evening. Because I'm trying to do my split break. I got 10 miles to go. You know, I'm trying to drive at least for 3 hours. Then take my 8, maybe my 7, I guess, and get back on the road to not get to the morning hour in Miami, you know, Florida.
I got you. What time you got to be in Miami today?
7 o'clock. No, tomorrow morning. 7 o'clock morning.
Oh.
Yeah. So yeah, I could be there tonight. Take a 10 over there, but you know, it makes sense for me to go to Miami tonight and deal with the traffic. I want to stop, take a 7 hour, you know what I mean? Get there early in the morning.
Sure, yeah.
No traffic at all. Yeah. So I was trying to drive and stop after Orlando, you know.
Yep.
So I bypass also Orlando traffic. So I can be there. Sorry, Sarah, I mute you because it was lots of mic, like a background noise on the mic. Sarah. So if you want to talk, Sarah, you can unmute yourself.
Thank you.
There we go.
According to David, I'm illiterate anyway, so it don't matter.
What is that again? I didn't hear you. What did you say?
I said according to David, I'm illiterate anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Man, that dude, look, I don't know why he has to resort to insults. I really don't. And the thing of it is this. I've never really had anything bad to say about him. I just disagree with his 513. That's it. But I've always disagreed with him. You know, I don't agree with that throwing insults. That's just, it does not solve anything.
Hey, Sarah, you may want to, if you don't talk, Sarah, you may want to mute yourself because we got so much echo. There we go.
Whew, yes. Whew. Yeah. There we go. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm hearing myself 3 times.
Me too. It's kind of orgasmic too. I was kind of getting hot in here. I was here myself.
Here we go, Fabio. Here we go. Here we go.
I'm just saying the way it is, you know.
Yeah. I hear you.
See, I was thinking about that guy yesterday. That was a joke. What's the name again? The gray on the
Is that any
transportation.
better?
Oh, that's better.
Oh,
What
that's
do you
so
do?
much better. Oh, yes. Yes, someone found their headset, it sounds like.
Yeah.
I cannot hear myself anymore. Damn it!
Oh,
No,
man.
he was
Yeah.
getting mad at me because I won't read that thing, but I'm not going to read something I don't agree with. I'm just not going to waste my time with it.
Well, you know, this is the thing. I read it, and I'm not gonna lie, I signed it. My part that I agree with on it and signing it is the parts of bringing the skilled trade in, things of that nature. I can agree with part of something and sign it, and not have to agree with it wholeheartedly to sign a petition. So,
Was you in there when he went after?
oh, we lost her. Where did she go?
Oh, I'm
But-
There
Was
you
you
are.
there
When he went after who?
He went after Vince.
What?
Yeah, he went after Vince and told Vince that he can't stand on anything and nobody's going to believe him and he doesn't have a fight and everybody just needs to get behind Aftra and that's what it needs to be.
He literally told. Sorry, I had a call come in there. I lost. So he told Vince that he can't stand on anything.
Yep.
Wow.
That's all right.
Wow.
But before
You know,
anything, I would like to
the thing
say,
of this is this.
I would like
the
to
thing
say-
of this is this. I'm wanting to bring the entire transportation industry together. So, and that's brokers included. You know, we talked about this last night. That's brokers included. I want to see everybody be brought together here because I truly feel if we can get enough of the carriers and enough of the brokers together to actually talk and understand what it is that we each do and each of us goes through, you know, that I truly believe that eventually we will find some sort of common ground. And then the problem with the spot market might adjust itself, you know, because, yeah, we have contract freight. You know, I know you do, Sarah. I do, you know, but at the same time, we still do potentially float around in that spot market some. I mean, I know I do. And there's loads that pay crap, and then there's loads that pay good. You know, it's all a matter of working with brokers you know that are good, you know, actually making sure you're offering a good service to them, you know, it's all of that. So, and that's where it's at. You know, yeah, we need to bring everybody together in the transportation industry.
before we do anything, I would like to say something. Good afternoon. This is Pablo, the French guy, French trucker. Have a coffee with Pablo. I'm going to start a show because I got my cup of coffee, you see. He don't say palot, he don't say love, he don't say tiye. It's Pablo Cafe. So, enjoy your
You
coffee.
just had to go there. You just had to go there, didn't you? You just
Are
had to
you-
go there.
I gotta do
Are
it.
you here in America or are you in somewhere else?
Oh no, he's going to be here with me in
Please.
Florida in about 2 hours. So
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
you are here. I didn't
Yeah.
know. You were talking about other countries here.
I
I
gotta
didn't
teach.
know.
No. I gotta teach Cupcake how to properly do a French kiss.
Oh, Jesus, here we go.
Oh
You have
boy.
lost your mind, son. You have absolutely lost your mind. you,
No,
you,
we have a problem with the French kiss and the French. You know, we have that kind of power, I guess, on our
I mean-
DNA.
I mean, if that's what you
Cupcake
two
would
are,
like to find out.
look,
if
bro.
that's what you guys are into, I mean, whatever.
Bro,
No, I didn't say. I
I
didn't
don't
say.
have
Hold on,
any
again.
shoes on and I'm in my truck, okay? I
did
do not. I
say.
don't haul bulls anymore. I don't need any bullshit in the truck, okay? So let's just. You need to back it up a minute there.
I did not say I'm going to show you how it's properly done to him, but giving some advice to how to properly do it.
What part of Florida are you going to?
I'm in
from
Wildwood
Chimani.
right now.
And he's in Wildwood. I'm
Yeah.
like 2
Where are
hours
you
away.
going? Where's he going?
Oh, Pablo's going to Miami. I'm supposed to unload in Sanford, but I stopped here in Wildwood to get a service and get a brake fixed, and then apparently we're welding on a whole new spider and a whole new spindle. So I'm
Okay, Cupcake.
Listen,
Okay.
if you guys,
Do you need me to get the trailer, get you unloaded so you can get paid?
bro, it's on the trailer that I got the problem.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, Matt and I was talking
If
about
you
that.
guys
I was
are
like,
going-
bro, I wish, but if it was on the truck, I would say it. I'd be like, hey, we need to pull this trailer off his truck real quick, and I'm gonna have a buddy of mine come snatch this trailer and drag it out the way. But yeah, it's on the trailer. So,
Oh, damn it. Sorry, man.
but
Hey,
look, I
if-
can't get unloaded anyways.
Okay,
if either of you go over towards Coco to the pilot or the Flying J over there, there's a tow truck just for. I don't live far from there, so the reason I know. There's a tow truck that works both of those parking lots, and it doesn't matter if you're parked off to the side, out of the way. And if you're not in a spot, they will hook on and tow your stuff. Just for you know.
No,
Well,
I got good parking space in Florida. I'm going to the beach when I'm stuck somewhere.
You gotta go get stuck.
When I
somewhere?
come down here to Sanford, when I got to come down here and deliver in Sanford, I just always park here at the 75 Chrome Shop because most people aren't going to be in there that are going to be fucking around. I don't have a problem paying the $15 a day to make sure my hood stays on my truck. They got pretty decent showers. You're close to restaurants and everything else, so
Yeah,
they
you got the
got
IHOP.
laundry and everything. Yeah, I walked up. I made an IHOP 2 times now so far. I've been here since Saturday, so yeah.
Is the barbecue trailer outside or? Is it,
I haven't seen it yet. I know what you're talking about, but I have not seen them yet, so I'm keeping a good eye out.
oh, he's got the best food.
Yep, I'm keeping an eye out. We're gonna.
I don't know if you like greens or not, but he makes some good greens.
Oh yeah. I love greens. Yep. Yeah, I'm gonna. The only thing I've really had to eat today because of all this nonsense is I walked into the TA here and got me some pot roast and some veggies. So
I thought their truck stop restaurant was closed.
So they've got that one little hot case thing there where I guess they're doing the
oh, yeah.
restaurant in the back. They're just not actually doing a sit-down restaurant. So,
No, I'm going to
You get some
cook
Taco
me.
Bell.
I did that last night, actually, before the live last night. I ate Taco Bell. And Pablo, you jinxed me, sir. You absolutely jinxed me. Because I had to run in the middle of the live last night and go take care of things.
I'll tell you, you got to
Poor
get number
baby.
2. Yeah. I
Poor
told him.
baby.
Well, that's
Just
okay.
saying, he jinxed me.
I'm
Poor
making
baby.
I'm making myself tonight tuna steak.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I got
Nice.
tuna steak, and I'm cooking tonight. Before I do my 7, I'll cook my tuna steak.
Nice. Nice.
Sorry, I wish I had more time to spend with you over there. I will cook one for you, but I really have to run to beat the traffic in Orlando and.
Look, the best part of it's going to be is that we're going to get a selfie together and send it to Matt, and
he'll be
watch
pissed.
Matt's head just explode. So
Oh, yeah,
that's
he's gonna
what
be
that's the
pissed.
best part of this.
Yeah.
So we get to fuck with our big brother. So
Oh, fuck yeah. Oh, boy. I can't wait. How was there?
oh, it's nice, really. I mean, well, it's kind of overcast and stuff a little bit, but it's been in the 60s and 70s most of the time. So
Oh, good.
we had some rain last night. I mean, we had a pretty good storm bowl through here. Well, that was right before I talked to Matt and we went on the live. I mean, it come down pretty good. It was cats and dogs. And then,
You talk about that sunshine state. Kiss my ass. He rain almost all the fucking time in here. You know?
that's because Lily came back here, bro. It's Lily's fault.
Oh, yeah. It's always our fault anyway.
You know? Well, if she'd ever get her life together, maybe we quit blaming her for things.
Oh, boy. Where she's at?
I have no idea. I haven't looked. I have no
Look
clue.
at that. She's maybe home.
I mean, I know she come through, but I know when I talked to her last week, she was talking about doing a turn and burn. So, because I guess she normally leaves out on Sunday, and this past week they had her leave out on Tuesday, which kind of messed her week up, I guess. So she was going to try to get back on her normal.
How did the football talk end last night?
It went until I got a little tired there, and then I had enough. So, I mean, it was a good conversation. You know, the two guys were pretty good conversation. So, you know, like I said, when it comes to, I could tell by the sound that they were SEC guys, and I went, oh, here we go. SEC boys and their football, man, I'm telling you, that is something else sometimes. It really is.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I feel you because I'm the same. I'm an SEC guy, you know.
Yeah. Well, they were both Georgia fans, so.
Oh, hey, no, I don't like them. That's good. No, thank you. I'm
Hey,
good.
Sarah.
Oh,
She paused for a minute there, Mac
Yeah, she
Daddy.
did.
There she is.
she's back.
Sarah.
Yeah.
At least you didn't get kicked off as live.
Oh, did you get kicked out?
Oh, yeah. She told me to fucking leave. And I'm like, all right, bye.
What?
Oh, that
No.
must have been when I was loading.
I fucking left and I slammed the door, so he's on his own now.
That guy is. I mean, he kept calling me stupid the whole time I was on his live.
I'm telling you, that's not going to get us anywhere.
No.
Nowhere. Not absolutely nowhere is that going to work out.
Nope.
I mean,
The
you can't
gotta
represent you can't represent an organization and be taken seriously when you're backlashing at people who are trying to understand, support, bring ideas to the table, all those things. You cannot backlash at those people. And if they don't think they're going to find out about it, they will. They're not that stupid. So,
You know, I'm an open guy, you know. I like to learn more. If I make a mistake, I will recognize I make a mistake and I will learn more about that. But the deal is that it looks like people building some kind of club or mafia group that if you don't agree with them, then you become their pure enemy. That's what people need to understand. We are not enemy. We are all do the same job. We all have the same quality of life, lifestyle as trucking. And we all need to learn from each other and grow up and make the trucking industry better. But some people, they are not there to make the industry better. They are here to make money in their pocket. As much as it sounds like that's how they are for. That's a shame.
And unfortunately, we run into that. I don't know if Dave's actually making a whole lot of money off of it because I don't think he's quite like Bob. I know Bob's got like 250,000 followers, so he's obviously going to definitely be able to go through and pull a crap ton of freaking any kind of monetization.
Well, it's
So-
all about the coffee, coffee with Pablo, the French trucker. That's why.
Oh. Yeah, that's one of those things. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's and I don't know why he feels the need to constantly become insulting. It just, that just it doesn't work for anybody. Doesn't help anything.
Well, we need to be civilized, and just, if you think so, you believe in God, and you just think so, you act, or you say you're a Christian, just act like, just respect people, and they will respect you. Respect is not something that give it away to you. Respect is you earn the respect from people. So, yeah, it is what it is.
Well, and he keeps trying to get me to come back over there, and I mean the stuff that I hear from where he's insulting Sarah, and I was in the live when he started some of that stuff, and then I mean obviously with what he's done with Mac Daddy there, and kicked her out, and then the stuff that he's doing towards Vince with you need to figure you need to stand on conviction, and that's not going to bring all of us together like it needs to. It's really not. So, and that's why I don't want to go back over there, because I watched that happen. I watched it happen with Jane. I watched it happen with Melissa. And that's why I stepped out of that situation over there. And it's not changing. It's not. None of that is changing. So, I just don't want to, I don't want to be a part of that. I'll talk to him periodically if he calls or texts and I'm able to and available. Yeah, I will. But I just don't want to, go back over there and listen to that. And that's not what I'm going to be a part of. He can text me and message me as many times as he wants. It's not going to happen. Not until I see a change of behavior. And obviously as of, we'll say 14:43 Eastern time on the 8th of December in 2025, it still hasn't changed. So,
well, I left said group.
oh, do you walk out of the Telegram too?
I did. Yep. Yeah, because
Really?
I'm just telling you, don't come at me that you're trying to do something, but then you pick and choose who you're allowed. And after, I did the right thing, because after the way he treated Sarah, it's the same. He's got a couple of issues. One, like I said, if you don't follow his agenda exactly, then it's name calling, or you're told to leave the group, or. And then I truly believe that he has an issue with women who know this industry, or women in general, but my only experience is on the topic we're talking about, that he has an issue with that. He treated Sarah like shit. He treated me like shit. I'm not doing it. That's not okay.
No, it's not.
No, that's not.
Regardless if you're male or female, you gotta respect everybody, even from the racial, we have some people, I got some good guys, they are trucker, they've been here for 20 years plus, they're from Russia. They have no problem with them, hard worker, they understand the business. They need to respect people, don't treat people like shit,
Right.
Yeah, I think he's a rude person, very rude person.
Well, and I mean, I hate to be the one to jab back, but I finally got to the point where I did. I'm like, dude, you're on your third job in for 5 months, for one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And so, if you can change jobs because you're not happy, then so can other people. And a lot of people that are whining about.
Oh, we lost her again.
Yeah, we lost her again.
Probably somebody called her, I guess.
Oh, well, Mac Daddy, man, she's a busy lady, so.
I know,
Yeah.
that's why my contact on her phone is Mac, not my dad.
Sorry, I don't know why it dropped that time, but I had to get off the phone a minute ago because I had to go take care of a customer and line up. We're going to be shipping 1,166 pounds in the back of a pickup from Denver to Rapid City in Spearfish.
Oh, dang.
I mean, you talk about cake work, right?
Yeah, easy work.
Yeah.
You have to do that in 1 hour. Done.
So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I'd love to support people as much as just like pastime. Hey, dude, I'm willing to support your cause too, but you have got to articulate to me what the hell you're trying to talk about, and you can't. You can't even answer common core carrier questions.
Well, the problem that I have over there is and I went over and I was like, you know what? I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. I will go ahead and I will try to join his thing and see what happens. You have to accept terms of service and a privacy policy that you don't know what it says.
That was a joke right there. Yeah.
So I literally made a video about that, and I'm like, this doesn't work. And then he comes back and he makes a comment,
Oh,
puts
thank you.
a photo up there about what do you call it?
The IT guy.
Our website.
Yeah.
And I literally went back through and I'm like, I type in WeTheFOPT.org all the time, and there it is. I don't quite understand it. So,
well, we can't make it. We just have to be careful that we don't turn it into what everybody else is, and that's everybody's got a bigger eggplant than somebody else. That's not what this is about at all.
Yeah.
You know, we gotta get together and like, even if if they agree with one topic on our side and we agree with two on their side or whatever that is, I don't care. Like, we've got to come together with something on, that's it. It's not that hard.
It don't matter if you are representing
on my private page instead of FOPT. That's why I made the videos on my private, and I really didn't say anything out of pocket either, though. Like, it was just a matter of, you want transparency, but you can't even be transparent on your website. Like, that's a little hypocritical. It really is. I mean, if you want me to agree to terms of service or a privacy policy, it's no different than you and I have said, Laura, about you got to read the rate con.
Well, and the other thing that goes on the same thing with David is that along the same, I just lost my train of thought, but the same thing you said, like, you can't say that you're advocating for the industry when you're only advocating for one sector of the industry. If we're going to change trucking, let's do it across the board. What does that look like? And none of us know yet, because we need input from local drivers, we need input from regional drivers, we need input from over the road, then we need car haulers, flatbed, dry box, reefer, hopper bottom, all that. We kind of have to just like throw all this shit in a bucket and smear it around and come up with something.
Well, we kind of have a total different pay structure when it comes to car hauling than what you guys do in general freight.
But that's okay, because
But so does livestock, though. And
but you write it.
Did we lose her?
I don't know. I think I might have accidentally tried to talk over, and I wasn't trying to talk over her.
No, I'm here. I'm here.
No, Laura was trying to talk and answer what you were saying, and I think we both started at the same time, and I probably should have waited a couple more seconds to allow her. I think I kind of overspoke on her there.
My stupid phone rang. I don't know if you were talking about me or Sarah, but
well, no, I was saying I think I overtalked you. So go ahead, hon.
No, I'm just saying that I think we have to like figure out the whole. My biggest concern about the crap David's doing, I still really, we talk about farmers and ranchers, and we talk about, Vince was on the live earlier, and he's like, well, you think the young people, they got to be able to afford a house. You think they're going to be able to do that at $5 a mile when everything skyrockets worse than what it is? Like, we got to worry about price gouging. That's the other thing I have to say is that I have a fuel station down the road that literally will change their fuel prices 2 and 3 and 4, 5 times a day. It'll go up by 20 cents and come down by 8 and go up by 15 and come down by 5. That
Yeah.
is nothing but price gouging.
Yeah. Well, and that's that thing that we've talked about with the 513 that I have an issue with, is that if you don't freeze the pricing, it's not going to work. Because as soon as you do that $5 a mile, because it's like what, 40 to 45% of the freight is on the spot market. So if you bring the spot market rates up to that $5 a mile, because we all know they're not, we bring all of it up to that, you've literally increased almost 40% of the economy's costs for transportation by that same 40%. That doesn't work.
It doesn't
You know
work.
what I mean? Because what happens is it trickles down too.
And the other thing that
So-
he doesn't listen to me, or maybe he doesn't believe me, I haven't raised my rates in 2 years so that I stay competitive. And I always underbid the brokers, so I end up with the broker work. And when I don't have a truck, they have to give it to the brokers. But like, I haven't raised my rate in 2 years, but all the cost of everything else has been going through the roof. I've lost almost $295,000 year to date from this year to last year.
Right.
And guess
I
what?
don't know.
My drivers haven't taken a pay decrease, because if you run your business correctly, and I'm not saying I am, I just think I am, because of the way it's working out. If you ran your personal life like you run a business, like, if you don't have a lot of money for groceries, then why the hell are you buying soda pop, cigarettes, and potato chips?
Right. Right.
It's common sense. Common sense. Let's go say it's common sense. Those $5 a mile, it's not work. It will not work because it's not common sense. You cannot ask an economy to pay double the price for what they pay right now, and to have the economy stay flat. Everything will increase. Number one. Number two, if you ask for a cap, a minimum cap, then they can also ask for a maximum cap. It was going to happen
Right.
5-10 years down the road, then we could be biting our finger. And we are in a country, it's capitalism economy. It is not socialism. Let's get the government out of it. We as a trucker, we can fix our own business. That's mean, like I've been saying a lot, if we have like the shipper and receiver have to put a price on the BOL or how much the load will be paid for, how much he pay for, except for Pepsi and Coca-Cola because they cannot do that. But if you pick up a load from a broker paying like I say 150 a mile because you've been stupid enough, I guess, miles, when you pull that load one time, the second time you go ask for $250 or $3 miles because you know they have the money. Let's go, the trucker, fix our own industry and let the government out of the business.
Well, I still
Well,
go back to too. If you people, we need to network, and we need to network with each other. That says, hey, somehow, I don't know. It's going to be impossible to do, in my opinion. But if you're picking up from, okay, I'll use Owens Corning out of Denver, because
Right.
they have that stuff on the load board at 94 cents a mile, no matter where you go.
Right.
If everybody would quit hauling that shit, and I mean, just one day say no and let all those shingles sit there, see what
Correct.
happens.
Yep.
See what happens.
Yeah.
But
Well, that's what we've talked about with the
nobody has
rejection
the
rates.
Spine. Nobody has the spine or the nutsack to do that. They all
It
freak
is-
out and they all get itchy, and then they all like, okay, I'll just do it this one time. No, you're not. You're going to do it one time, and you're going to do it again when you get here. But
Mhm.
And they don't understand that you pick up a load, like a heavy load, let's go say you go back to Kansas City for 80 cents a mile, you are paying your own money to the broker or to the shipper. Because at the end of the story, you pick up a heavy load, like maybe a beer if you have an load or a reefer, you pick up a heavy load to go back to Kansas City, you put some wear and tear on your truck, you are wasting your money. You are giving the money away. So might as well drive deadhead or pick up a partial load to go back east or west, don't pick up that heavy, crappy load. That's what I do all the time. All the time. I will never pick up a load of 45,000 pounds for 80 cents a mile or 150 miles.
Well, the other
Never.
problem
Never.
is that one shipper or broker, it doesn't matter which way you're talking, expects the outbound customer to pick up the damn difference, and that's not fair.
No, yeah. Mhm. So if you're running waste to make beer in Denver, they're paying $3 a mile. Why you have to pick up a full load beer, paying 80 cents a mile? That don't make sense to me.
Yeah, and Lost and Found put a comment in here. It's a skill they do not have, and you are 1,000% correct. It's a skill to say no, and it's a skill to make sure that you know what your operating costs are. Even if you have to run a little bit under your operating costs, maybe you did pick it up on the outbound. You never know.
Yeah. Example, okay? I'm going to Miami, Florida. We know it's a dead market for the drive-in, okay? And I have a broker email me about a lot to pick up in Miami to go to Tampa, Florida, paying 75 cents a mile.
Ugh.
I email him, I say, I can do that lot for 1,025. It was 350 miles because the shortcut is 25 miles, okay? And he told me, no, all I can do is 475. I told him on an email, I would rather dead and empty in Georgia than pick up your heavy load for $475. I'm losing money no matter what, with your load or without your load. But I'm empty, I will have better fuel mileage, less wear and tear on my truck, and have to deal with that crap. Done deal. All the driver have to do is say, no, I'm not doing that. Even for one day, like you said, one day. No, I'm not doing that stuff. The next day, they're all going to cry and pay more money. Me, for Miami? No, I don't have anything yet.
I'm looking for a load out of Lehigh, Utah, coming back to Denver for a 48-foot air ride flatbed, spread axle.
I don't got none of that. Look on Central Dispatch.
You know, I think I remember hearing something about that, but somebody didn't give me all the information last week to help out with that problem.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
He'll get
You
empty
know.
tonight, but he won't have any hours to go anywhere, so we'll be ready to load first thing in the morning.
French, what are
Gotcha.
you what are you pulling?
Drive in.
Drive in. You could probably get a hold of AMX. They have something out of there probably for like a couple bucks a mile. I mean, it's decent for Florida.
I've been checking out earlier, I didn't see anything.
They
I'll check it out.
they usually have stuff going up to like the Carolinas and up to Virginia.
Oh, that's nice.
John Ashley said, no tarp for shingles. People use it as a load to move to a better hub. That's not true. A lot of these shingles go to stupid places like Lander, Wyoming. I don't know what
Yeah.
you're going to get out of Lander, but you're going to have to deadhead to Casper, or Lovell, or
right.
Billings, or Denver, or somewhere else. So that isn't necessarily true with the shingles that come out of Denver. They're awful.
Do you guys have for your flatbeds? Do you have flatbeds or step decks?
Flats. Flatbeds.
You ever look on Central Dispatch?
No, but I can right now.
So you should probably send it for Central Dispatch. They have stuff like Kubota tractors and little John Deere tractors and
Oh, put
all
those a
the-
lot, yeah.
all
Yeah,
that
drive
Oh my
sorts of
gosh,
stuff.
Sarah, are we networking and helping each other out? I mean, seriously.
But that's what we need. That's what we need.
This
Exactly,
is-
right there.
You know, that's the thing, though. That's what we've talked about inside FOPT the entire time, is bringing everybody together. You know,
We haven't just talked
so-
about it, we've done it. Mike, you've given advice, I've given advice, whether you take it or not, it doesn't frickin' matter. But what works for one company might work for another one, or it might spur a better idea than that.
Yep.
We can't,
This is
that's
true.
There's enough work for us all to go around, but we also have to stand together and say, I'm not going to haul that. And then they're going to call somebody right next to you and you're going to be like, nope, I'm not hauling that either. And then they're going to call somebody else and they're going to get the same answer. And next thing you know, they call you back and go, okay, I'll let you haul it for $2.75 a mile or whatever it was.
Right.
But you know, Sarah, what I'm doing a lot from Florida, I'm putting a lot of partial load. I have so much equipment. I have like I don't know, 35 straps, a log bar, load bar, pallet jack. So I like to go Florida. I pick up a lot of partial load to get back up in Georgia. That's what I'm doing. So I'm
Well,
not
part of the
looking.
reason I don't sign up for load boards is because I feel like, and somebody can tell me I'm wrong, but I feel like the load boards are for more OTR stuff. They're longer distance kind of things. And I'm a regional carrier. I don't want to go from Denver to frickin' North Carolina. I just don't.
Well, I would say this. It depends on, I think, the genre that you try to get into with the load boards. You know, and I only say that because, like, in the bulk market, you'll see quite a bit on the load board of both of 1,000-mile runs and 200-mile runs. But when you get onto some of the other ones, like when I was on DAT and stuff like that, for like power only type freight, it was, when you got into like the reefer side, it was a crap ton of long runs. The flatbed was a crap ton of long runs. The van side was kind of beautiful for like what Pablo talks about, where he likes to stack together 3 or 4 different like partial loads to actually get that rate per mile up to that $5, $6, $7 a mile range that he does, with stacking a lot of the LTL stuff together. And I think the main reason why I like the flatbed stuff that's on there is because it's the cheaper long haul stuff that a lot of people don't want to mess with. So the contract carriers like your TMC, your Melton, Wiley, oh geez, my buddy drives for them. They're out of Minnesota, red trucks. Geez Louise, yeah. Sorry, Tim, if you're listening, man. I forgot the company you work for, buddy. But anyways, they're the main ones, and it's basically loads that they don't want, you know, and it's a cheap load that goes across country. So
What day, you know, I lost you guys because I got a phone call from a broker, okay? It was
Right.
pick up a load to go to Miami to go to Chicago. Ask him how much you pay for that load, 1,300. And I say, no, thank you. You have a good day. Period.
yeah,
I'm not, this is fucking stupid. Why you even waste your time to calling me to offer a load at 1,300, crossing the snow and the ice to go to Chicago, deliver on Thursday? I'm not giving you money to pull a freight. I'm here to make money. So I
Well,
can
that's part of the
Yeah.
problem. That's part of the
Yeah.
problem we have. You know, I travel over I-80 or I-70, and they're like, well, what's the issue? Well, I don't know. What do you think the issue is? It's freaking riskier than ever.
yeah.
You know, and not only that, if you want my guy to be safe, he's going to go slower.
Yep.
Like, we got to stop
Yeah.
and chain, we got to chain down, we got to do all these things. You know, I'm not asking you to pay for his frickin' potty breaks or his lunch, but Jesus.
You're right.
I mean, I think, you know, that's one thing that you got to be in control, is you just got to make sure that, you know, you say no, and you don't have to say no. You can say no and say, but I can say no and I can do it for this. And
Right.
if they're like, oh my God, I mean, if they're willing to listen to you, fine. But if they're not, don't even waste your breath, because they don't understand what the job entails. Period.
Right.
It's
Right.
like most of the time when I post my truck, you know, because I post my truck from Miami, okay? Just in case for fun. I know I won't pull nothing from there, okay? But I have some stupid, like TQL. When TQL call me, I never answer the phone. I'm done with that crap. Because when I post my truck, I say, please email me. Because I'm sick and tired of people call me and throw me some number BS, you know, to pick up from Florida. So I say, please email me. And TQL are the one that would never email me. They will always call. I don't deal with that crap. I don't.
Right.
But we,
Right.
Well, you know what I think, what else should be, I don't know if it should be illegal, but I think there should be, I don't even know how to say it. Maybe one of you guys has the answer, the word that I'm looking for, but it should not be allowed that 7 different brokers have the same load posted.
oh, but the love of God,
Co-brokering.
thank you.
They need
Right,
to,
right.
so this is co-brokering that you're talking about. And the thing of it is some of this is where, and I deal with this quite a bit in my industry, where somebody from Schooler or Anderson's, this will be a direct load. They'll put it up there. They'll leave it up there. The brokers will call about it, get the information, but because they don't have a truck in hand, they know what it's going to be. They know what the rate is. They know what the product is. They have a pickup and delivery time as far as dates. Then they go through and they, they wait until somebody calls them about it. So if you've been around in my industry long enough, my genre of the industry, I should say, you know who to actually call. Like if it's going to be, if I know that if I'm going to run some local stuff and it's like corn loads and stuff like that out of the Southeast, I'm calling a guy over at Schooler. You know, if I want to call,
Is Schooler a broker?
No, Schooler is a major trader in the industry.
Well, kind of the
like
same thing, but just like right now, there's a load out of Aurora, Utah coming to Denver. I know what the product is. I have one broker on the hook for, he came at me with $1,000. I'm like, dude, I can't do that. Plus I'm deadheading from Salt Lake. And he's like, well, I can do 1,200. Well, Landstar has the same damn load.
Yeah.
And there's only one load. So that's part of the problem too, because one broker books it with me, the other broker books it with you, but there's only one load. So 2 trucks are heading for this load. We've already lost our butt because somebody deadheaded for nothing. That's when they call you and go, oh, so sorry, the load canceled, or so sorry, it was given to another truck. That should be bullcrap.
Well, so that's
it's like the grocery store. If it's not on the shelf, you don't get to buy it.
Right, and that's one of those ones where we have...
I would like to make one line to say hi to somebody from France. Did show up on TikTok. That's my daughter. You want to say hi to her? Hey, Naomi. Bonjour, Naomi. Sorry.
Oh, I didn't see anybody pop in there.
Bong J-Tour. She see the waving here on the TikTok. That's my daughter from France.
So Lost and Found, it's not necessarily, we're not talking about we're not talking about the shipper playing the market. We're talking about the brokers a lot of times playing the market. And what we're kind of more talking about is that we will, like one of the things she was talking about is you will book a load on a rate con. You'll already have it booked, and it's happened to me before that you have this load booked. The next thing they know, they call you and say, oh, the load canceled because somebody else called in and said, oh, I'll do it for cheaper after you've already got a contract with them. So instead of breaking the contract, they just say the load canceled, turn around, and you don't know no different, you know, not unless you know the person. And then they turn around and they sell that load to some other carrier that would did it for cheaper, you know, because they might have reached back out and said, well, you know, and just emailed and said, well, I'll run that load for $1.50.
And they're not going to give you a truck order not used.
No, you're not going to get a autonomy pay on that. So you're already headed that way for the load. And they're calling you and canceling the load when the load didn't cancel.
There's got to be some way to not, I don't want to say control, but there's got to be some way to mitigate that from happening. And the reason I don't want to use the word control, because I feel like we're back to asking the government to intervene.
Right.
It needs to be like an industry mitigation process, or I don't know how that works, but.
So what I would say is this. This is where being on the load boards and stuff does help, because anybody that's on the load board, and when I say anybody, I mean any brokerage or shipper that's on a load board, whether it be bulk loads, hop loads, DAT. I mean, I'm not going to list them all because I don't even know them all. But there's a rating system, and this is where dry truckers and carriers will get desperate, like you talked about, and take that 80-cent load of shingles out of Denver. You know, just because they start to get the itch and they're all worried about maybe deadheading empty. Also, they'll go through and do the same. They won't pay attention to the ratings. And I don't know how many times I have seen on some of the load boards, different carriers come on there and start complaining about the different people on there that were posting loads. And then you go look in the ratings and you see where they posted it in the forum. And then you go down and look at their ratings, And last year, 6 months ago, 9 months ago, whenever, it's all the same type comments. You know, I mean, there's already a way for the industry to kind of police that, if you will, and monitor that. But unfortunately, we don't have a lot of.
But Mike, that requires you to pay to be on a low board, and that doesn't help all of us out. That's where I'm at with that.
I know that. Well, and see, but this is where I think it would help, is that there are a lot of us that are on the DAT board or whatever.
Good. One of you find me a Lehigh to Denver.
Well, I'm not on the DAT board. I only run bulk stuff anymore, so I got rid of DAT. But anyways, there's a lot of them on there. And so what needs to happen is we need to start having people be able to do that. It's either that or we create something that's like the carrier 411 that's out there that brokers use. And maybe create something like that for us to use for brokers. It's already done. Okay, I don't know.
Well, it's FR the number 8 brokers 411, where carriers can go report brokers. But part of the issue with that too is you have carriers that get on there. For example, they bitch about pay issues, and they're like, "Well, they didn't pay me in 30 days," and then you got to go back and dig a little farther and go, "Well, how long did it take for you to invoice them and send in the PODs?" Like, the 30-day clock really doesn't start until you've proven you've delivered the damn load. So don't be bitching about that broker.
Right.
You know? And then people are bitching about factoring companies. Don't use them if you don't want to pay.
Right.
Don't use them.
Well, and we literally just had one of those over here on the bulk board just a few days ago that I seen it. And I deal with the broker that they were talking about. And this broker does both. They are a shipper and a broker. So they will, send their own commodities, and then they will also broker loads, and I've dealt with it before where I've called them and I was like, they'd be like, "Hey, I got this load going out to KC," and I'm like, "Okay, well, what do you got coming out of there?" And they'll say, "So are you good to go to KC?" And I go, "Yeah, I'm great to go to KC to see if you can find me something else." And then they might wind up calling one of the people that I already deal with. But because I didn't have to mess with it, I don't mind spending the 10% because I know that's about what they take. Well, somebody come on the board there and they started complaining about all that, and it was all on the rate con. And when you go back and look, when Chad responded back to it, he literally was like, it was all on the rate con, to basically paraphrase the whole conversation. If the carrier, the owner, operator, whatever, would have looked at the rate con, he would have seen, or she would have seen, that it wasn't to pick up until the next day. He was all the person that posted was all pissed off because they had to wait, and it's like, well, it was right there.
Yeah, you have to read it.
Right there. Yeah,
and people should be reading that stuff. And you know what? You're allowed to. I had the same broker that's got the stuff out of Aurora. They called us because they needed some local stuff done, and I cut him a hell of a deal on local work. But he called me in a frickin' jam, and I said, "Dude, I don't have a flatbed in my yard, so I need to go over to my customer and pick one up. It's 20 minutes away." He's like, I said, "Do you want me to do that?" And he's like, "Well, yeah, I need it done today, and if you have a truck, let's go." Then I sent him the invoice, and he was pissed that I billed him for the time for me to bobtail and get a trailer and go get the load. And I'm like, I fucking told you that. Pardon my French. I told you that when you called me. I told you that. We had a conversation that I don't store flatbeds in my yard.
Right.
And then of course he didn't email me back after that. He was probably like, "Oh shit. Yeah, well, I'm not, I don't work for free. My guys don't either. If I'm going to send somebody out, and in that instance it was my husband. Listen, if you're not going to pay him for his time, then I'm not going to haul your crap anymore. And I'm hauling it for dirt ass cheap for the Denver market."
Well,
I know, shame on me, but...
Well, no, you're right on the money. But see, this is where that kind of ties back into what I've said a few times now over the last few days here on these lives of let's bring the entire transportation industry together. This is where we need to get brokers to come over here and learn something. Now, I'm not saying all of them because there's a few of them like I know me and Anik don't always agree on everything, but she's a really, really, really smart lady. She has a lot of good information. If you want to learn about the broker side of our transportation industry, go over there and listen to what she's got to say. Yeah, she's going to get a little snarky, but I kind of enjoy that. Laura, we get that way with each other. So it's a good little banter and stuff, and I appreciate it. But this is where we need to get the whole industry together. We need
There's
the
nothing
brokers,
wrong.
we need the freight forwarders, we need the truckers, we need the carriers, we need everybody. This is where we need to start bringing the entire industry together. And I firmly believe if we can do this with the majority of the good carriers, the good truckers, the good brokers, the good freight forwarders, the good traders, if we can bring them together, then all we have to do is join together, and we can rid ourselves of all of this bad stuff. And this is the same, and I'm not talking about the mega carriers, because the mega carriers, they don't care. They don't care about any of us. They're a massive conglomerate that is 10% majority usually owned by BlackRock, which is $1 trillion company. But if we can bring the, like you, Laura, the small mom and pop carriers that have 6, 8, 10 trucks, or like Cisco that comes in here periodically, or like Sarah that was just in here. You all are small mom and pop style carriers. You have somewhere between 6, 10, 15 trucks. You deal with more than the standard owner operator does. And so this is where your intellect and your experiences could definitely help maybe open the eyes to some of the buyers, merchandisers, manufacturers, and shippers.
Well, and that's part of the thing that I have to tell. Like there are people out there in groups, and you've had a few trucks, and that's fine, but you've had a few trucks in a different state than I have. So what works for you guys probably doesn't work for me. And currently right now, I don't know that there's a bluer state besides California, but I don't even know that there's a border between Colorado and California anymore. The shit that's crammed down my throat that I have to do in this state now is ridiculously expensive. I don't need the government to run my business, and I don't need the government to tell me how to take care of people. The problem is there are so many people that do require that's why we have the rules, the regulations, the laws, whatever you want to call them. That is why those came to fruition, is because of people who don't care about people. I know every one of my drivers' names. I know how many kids they have. I know their wives' names. Their wives and family are allowed to go on the truck with them. Like, I want them to buy into their job. And you can't do that by saying no.
Well, no, and the thing of it is this. We all know, any of us that have been in the industry for longer than 5 minutes, I mean, this is one of the things that I tell a lot of the new driver, the new trucker that's out there. If you don't have a good support system at home, you're going to struggle with this job, because this is more of a lifestyle than it is a career choice or just a job. Because there's not too many of them that are out there that you have very little oversight by. And what I mean by that is, if you go to work at a factory, there's usually a floor manager walking around seeing what's going on. There's you go to Amazon, you see them in there. You go to your machine shops, you have foremans there. So you go through and you get in a truck though, and you got somebody that can make a phone call. Like you, Laura. You make a phone call and be like, hey, where are you at? Well, I'm here. Okay, about how far away are you? What are we looking like? Are you getting fuel? You taking your 30? Like, what do you got going on?
Well, that's
about the most oversight that's in this industry as far as the trucker side. And I love it too. But that's the difference of where we have our industry is so much different than any of the others.
Well, that's part of the deal too. Don't ask for white glove money when you can't even offer white glove service.
Well, that's true too.
Now,
that's true.
John Ashley make a comment on TikTok. He said,
so who really sets the bar for the market?
I'm going to tell you who is really set the bar at the beginning. Is a carrier. that set the bar. And as long we don't understand, we are controlling the market. It's our fault.
Well,
You
see,
have
this is the thing.
factoring. Hold on. You have factoring company. They share all the info. So every load you pick up and you factor, it is right away know that how much that load was paying for.
Hmm?
So
Well,
at the
there's-
base,
Lost
Right.
and found. Lost and found says the shipper set the price, therefore run the economic side of the load process. I believe some of that, but I really don't. I think the brokers do the same damn things that the truck drivers are doing to each other. The brokers go in and know the shippers have the load, and so one broker will say, "I'll do it for 12." The next one says 11.50, and they just keep running it down the damn starvation
Right.
line. It's not even a
There's
food
a lot
chain;
of that.
it's a starvation line. So the shipper obviously, okay. The shipper is not any different than any one of us on this phone call. If I need to go buy a set of tires and you're not calling around to try to get the best price, then you are screwing yourself.
Right.
And I
Right.
believe shippers do that as well. Maybe not all of them, but I do believe that most of them are probably calling around. I know that because I'm shipper direct with a couple of my customers, and I happen to be I was on the load board for a while only what the broker was posting the load for. And then I can guess because they want to pay the truck $1,200. Well, I know they're probably billing my customer $15. So guess what? I go in at $14 and I get the load.
Right. Right. Well, and you know, to say one of the things that he also said there, though,
Hello?
is that can you hear us? Oh, I think you walked
Yeah.
away. Your Bluetooth's not working.
yeah.
Mine?
Yeah, you went
It
away
is,
for a minute.
Did I?
You sounded totally different. So,
Oh, sorry.
but
Did,
he
did
says
I
the
make my
carrier
point
doesn't-
though?
Yeah, you did. We could all hear
Yeah,
you.
you did.
You were coming through loud and clear. I just don't think you could hear us.
Oh, okay.
He said the carrier doesn't set the bar. Well, yes, we do. Because when it comes to the spot market, when you get the rejection rate up high enough, that also in turn brings up the freight rate. But this is where you have carriers fighting amongst themselves, if you will, or button heads like mountain rams here, with the constant undercutting as it goes down. So the carriers do set the rates because if you got carriers coming in and say they'll haul it for this and they continually do it, well, the shipper's going to continually keep making the money that they want to make because they're going to be profitable. You know, at the same time, you have, if you get the rejection rate up, that broker, if it's going through a broker, you know, or if it's a shipper and they're charging their customer, and you go and they go through and they talk to everybody, and every carrier looks at them and says, "No, I will not haul it for that rate." They're going to have to go back to their customer and say, "Hey, we can't find a truck for this." Now, could they potentially go to another broker if it's a shipper trying to move something or a logistics coordinator? They sure could. But if you get everybody on board to go through and just say no to the lower freight, then it automatically starts to push it up. But see, this is where everybody's operating costs are a little different and everybody's contracts are a little different if you have direct freight. So this is where you must know. Well, and I understand that. I've said that for a long time, Lost and Found. The carriers must know their cost to run. I've literally offered it in lives and everything. My spreadsheet that I designed to help them monitor their cost.
Lost
they
and Found,
actually
why
know
don't
what it
you
is.
why don't you join the chat? I mean, I'm interested to hear what you say because I think you may have information that could help us all.
Oh, he was talking last night, and then one of the people got a little rude, and he just walked out. And I
God
understand. I
bless
tried
him.
to.
I understand. Yeah.
You know, so
But at the end of the story, it's like I say, the carrier are the one to set up the freight. Now the shipper, they are not stupid. They go on DAT load board. They know how much that load is paying for last week, yesterday, or today. So of course, if the load they show on the DAT load board that somebody is going to put that load for $1,200, they won't pay $1,500, $1,700. They're going to try to go under. And again, rejection rates, it's not a matter. As long carrier pull cheap freight, you will.
You tried to help on our live or on a different live, Lost and Found? I
The
wasn't
live
on
last
it. So.
night. No, he's
Your
talking
live?
about the live. Yeah, the FOPT live last night.
Did you
It
get
was a
sassy
later
with
one.
him?
No, one of the other guys did, and well,
Okay.
yeah,
All
the
right.
only thing
I was just
he had
invited.
said that I was wrong, and I was like, well, if I'm wrong, I would like for you to point this out and explain this to me so that I can educate myself so that I'm better. Because
Right.
you know how I am, Laura. I'm all about, if I'm wrong, please just show me that I'm wrong.
Right.
And I will gladly, go through.
You're wrong.
I'm
Well,
in trouble
we-
in an argument last night.
Was it trouble that did it? I couldn't remember, Sarah. So yeah. So
This live.
basically what it was, well, it ain't this live. It was FOPT's live
It
last
was
night. So.
it was this page's live last night. Now I'm following
Yeah.
along. I just got an
Yeah.
email. Hey, it says rate negotiable, ready now. It's an easy load. What does that tell you? But they want GPS tracking. Like if you're a trucking company and you have a dispatcher or you have ELDs and you're willing to share that truck location, why do you have to use their stupid ass truck tracking crap? That is the stupidest thing ever.
Very careful. We're doing a lot of things. We want to keep.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
Oh, Texas. Sounds like Texas is. Hey, you sound like you're a million miles away, so I don't know if it's your mic or what it is. Texas, I can't see your full name. I'm sorry.
When I Texas trucker, when I come in, I didn't mute my mic. That's what you was hearing, some background noise. I just
I
called.
got you. Now we
Thank
can
you.
hear you loud and clear. Thanks for coming on in.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Wrong needed to be
You did.
adjustable in the TQL versus Cheetah. Well, we talked about the Cheetah thing last night. She should have never signed the rate con and then try to come back and say she didn't get paid. That's what I heard. That's the rumor. I didn't dig into it. I don't
Yeah.
have time for that crap.
Yeah, from the most of what I know, that's about the gist of what it is with the TQL Pink Cheetah thing. I mean, I know she went through and she requested the original from TQL. TQL goes through and they fought back on they didn't want to do it. They dragged their feet. She went to FMCSA. FMCSA issued a couple of orders to TQL. TQL finally came through and they did the they forced the hand, and so when they forced the hand, that brought out the fact that finally somebody had in hand proof positive that a broker was taking more than 10%. And what happened there was, because it came out that it was at 40%, the trucking industry caught fire because we finally had proof that brokers were taking more than 10%. Well, the thing of it is this. If you weren't going to be profitable to haul that load at that rate, you probably shouldn't have taken that load. I mean, it's that simple. You made it. You look, I say the same thing about company drivers that go to work for companies. And it's this. It's literally when they start to complain about it, I go, well, did they tell you that at the beginning? Well, yes, they did. Okay. Well, they do this, 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 this. Okay. Did you know about it when you went to work for them? Well, yes, I did. So you made a contract with this company as a company driver that you would come supply your time for said company and do the job to the best of your abilities, the safest way you could, for an agreed upon rate. Because it's the same thing as a company driver as it is with carriers and brokers or carriers and shippers, is that as a company driver, I mean, Laura, you know this, you've got company drivers, Sarah, you as well. When you hire on one of those drivers, you say, look, this is what the job is. This is what I expect from you. And this is what I'm willing to pay you. If that pay isn't enough, if you're walking in as a company driver, you need to say that. You need to go through and say, hey, I feel like I'm worth more money. And this is the reasons why I feel like I'm worth more money. You know what I mean? So, but that's the same thing. You know, I have seen 40% very seldom in today's. Yeah, see, that's the thing, though, lost and found. And I've said that many a times, that that 40% doesn't happen as much as they think it does. But due to the emotional thinking that happens inside this industry so much, it was used to catch fire. And burn it down because because everybody has said it for years. It's the broker's fault. It's the broker's fault. It's the broker's fault. It's always the broker's fault. I mean, I often wonder if it's also the broker's fault that they got pulled over for having a headlight out because they didn't do a pre-trip that morning when they left the truck stop.
Hey, funny. You want to hear a funny story? I mean, I think we all need a good laugh. Really quick. So my stepmom emails me. She lives in Wisconsin, and she's like, "Yeah, I saw this truck got pulled over. He literally had a flashlight taped to the front of his truck because his headlights were out." And I was like, I have to give him kudos. Like, he did try, right? But
yeah,
it's legal. He maybe have a light there. He don't have anything to get fixed it, and he put a flashlight.
Yeah, he put a flashlight.
Yeah, exactly. So he won't have an OS because he got a flashlight. You know, that's a smart way to do it.
Can I give y'all a little bit more information on that TQL deal? Because I'm good friends with Dakota Sky, Pink Cheetah Express, SBTC,
Okay, sure.
which is James Lamb. So when the load started out, what happened was she got there to deliver, and they set her off. They wouldn't let her deliver, and they tried to gank her on accessorials, detention pay, layover, such and such. So she filed the motion. Filed for transparency, broker transparency, which is a federal regulation. When it got to the Epton CSA level, they issued an order for them to comply, compelled them to comply, which they did, but they also issued another order that they haven't complied with, was to remove the language of waivers from their contracts because it constituted a breach of the Sherman Act antitrust, that they couldn't waiver themselves out of a federal obligation. So that's what it boiled down to. It was 46%. By the time they took everything out, it was 40. But we've got transparency more times than that, and it's been we've showed a bunch of predatory brokers. I mean, we've been doing it for years.
Thank you for that.
Well, I appreciate the information. I really do. Because I didn't realize that there was that much to it. But I can only read what I can find on the internet when it comes to it, or what they actually put in the court case. So that's, and what other ones? See, I know that I've heard different people there in Texas that have talked about they have found other brokers doing it, and I know it happens, and I'm not saying it doesn't happen. Obviously they're in business to make money, no different than any carrier is out here. We're all doing it to make money. That's the whole goal of this. But the ones you talk about, the other ones there, is this severe predatory that you're talking about? Or, what's the story there?
Well, I am a carrier myself too, by the way, just so y'all aware. I've been doing this for years. I'm a small carrier down here in Texas. We have 2 trucks that we own and operate. Generally, I'm out in my truck. I'm at home right now. But we've seen it time and time again. And here's my deal. I've been doing this some years, and I've got a network that I work with of brokers, because I do run specifically spot freight, hot spot freight. I don't pre-book my truck. We run hot spot, day of, got to go, because that's where the money's at. I would rather set than run cheap freight. So by doing that, I've been able to keep my rates well over $3 a mile, all miles, all through this downturn when everybody else is crying and going out of business. Relationships is a good way to do business. Once you find a good broker, a reliable, honest broker that's straight up with you, you want to build that relationship and get in there and get to working for them. Then they know they can trust you, and then they can focus their attention on other parts of their job, like dealing with the unqualified or underqualified drivers that don't know what they're doing, that they got to micromanage. It's beneficial to business. But, even the brokers I know that I've been working with for years, which are great people. I got a lot of friends that are brokers, don't get me wrong. They'll be the first ones to tell you exactly what's happening, that they're cutting rates to the extreme. They've been running a lane for years, and then they got another carrier that comes in, a broker that comes in and undercuts them. Cuts them. We've seen 5,000 brokers added under the Biden regime, from 23,000 to 28,000, which created more competition in the freight broker market. But it got to the point where a lot of these brokers are shipping jobs overseas, overseas and yada yada. We know what's going on with the non-domiciled and them shipping in drivers, foreign carriers posing as American carriers. Same thing's going on in the brokers division, which hurts the whole American supply chain, because these people that's based overseas, working overseas, it's an anti-competitive deal, because they can work cheaper because they don't have the overhead we got. They don't have the office space and the bills that we have in America, because the economy over there is a tenth of what American is. But
Right.
so the brokers, and I could bring them in here. I could bring my carrier friends in here, my advocate friends in here. I could bring Pete Cheetah in here, James Lamb. Been working with them all for some years. All the brokers at CDLDU, ATU, you name it, I know them all. Alex Lockey, Alex Mai from Mother Trucker, we met face to face. All of them. Not saying I'm anyone, because I'm not. I'm just a trucker, a small carrier. But I've made my voice heard over the years. I've been doing this for about 4 years, advocating for truckers. And my brokers tell me all the time the problem is carriers taking the loads. That is correct. But the other problem is that the unqualified, underqualified brokers coming in that has no concern what it takes the truck to operate. So
Oh yeah.
this year we seen American Transportation Research Institute put out findings that it costs $2.27 a mile to proficiently operate a semi on the highway. Problem is, what are the rates? $1.80, $1.90 a mile. So these are the people that's going out of business. I chose to rework my business model personally and start running shorter miles at better pay. And, I'm not out there burning my tires off my truck or burning that fuel out the tailpipe, and I'm just chilling, and it's worked well. A lot of people don't have the mentality to understand that you have to adapt to the market, that the market will not adapt to you. But yeah, man, it's good hearing you. I'm just sitting back listening. But yeah, that deal with TQL goes a lot deeper than that, brother.
And like I said, I'll say it again. I'm all about getting educated myself. If I'm wrong about something, please tell me. I love to learn stuff. It helps all of us grow. It really does. You talk about that overseas brokering and stuff. Me and one of my broker friends as well works for RFG. We were just holding a conversation about that here a few days ago when he was calling me, because relationships, like you talk about, you got to build them. I run hard for these guys, and they know it. And they know when they call me and I tell them I'm going to be somewhere, I'm going to be there. Good Lord willing, the creek don't rise, basically. But we were talking about that overseas thing, and he was talking about that. And that's one of the fights that they've had. I don't know what genre of the trucking industry that you're in. I run a hopper bottom, but it's one of those deals that
I run a reefer outfit, brother, but I run flatbed,
Okay.
van, you name it.
Okay. So, but we're all about the same. I mean, we're all fighting the good fight, if you will. As far as like trying to get this together. But he was talking about how the same thing, that he's seeing a lot more. They dove into the dry van market first, from my understanding and from what he knew of it, as far as these brokers from overseas. And then they've slowly started to infiltrate into the broker markets with the reefer, broker markets with the flatbeds, the market with tanker, the agricultural side. I've seen a couple of emails come through, but they usually don't last very long. Just because it's in the agricultural market, that overseas just doesn't work well. A lot of times, because there's a lot of the farmers that are all about that American made and American power, and we want to keep it in America. So, but yeah, I mean, it's when you talk about trying to bring everybody together, that's what we're here for. We're trying to bring everybody that we can in the transportation industry together. Brokers, shippers, manufacturers, merchandisers, small carriers, single truck owner operators, lease operators, company drivers, to network, to learn, and to try to educate everybody, including ourselves, so that we can learn and become better and bigger ourselves. So, love to have you.
But I'm telling you right now, I've been called. I've been doing this some years, 4 years. Tripped and fell into it on Twitter Spaces. I got in a live space when I first got on Twitter, and got to talking with the community about the problems I see out here back then. I've been independent for a long time. Uh, Even when I was a company driver, I was independent, run my rig my way because I managed the company and dispatch. So, this has been 8 years. So, I got to tell them about talking about it, and we ended up creating a weekly space over there, and we've been putting it out for a long time. The things that are coming out now, we've been put out, and I've been denigrated, called a racist, called every name in the book, a conspiracy theorist, a bad business person. I didn't know how to run my business, so on, by the pushback from company drivers, lease purchase, and brokers and shippers, but now it's all come out, and we've got momentum, and we see the shift happening, and everything that we've been saying all along has come to light. And this is something I point out to everybody. I'm not racist. That's furthest thing from who I am, man. I stand for American truckers, and I don't care if you're white, black, green, yellow, pink, purple. My bias kind of stops at the borders of America. But I mean, when you look at where we went in the last 5 years as a supply chain with the fraud and the scam running rampant, is because of the cartels, these overseas cartels. Not only the brokers. I mean, all brokerages, most of them now, and you can check it on Highway. They're shipping their work overseas to people overseas because they work cheaper too. They're offshoring.
Right.
And as we've dealt with this, what do they have? So now we've got the foreign trucking companies posing as American through virtual addresses and shared office spaces that are not American carriers. So what can they do? Fraud and scams, stolen loads have skyrocketed. Our insurance is rising at a rate of 12% a year over year, and has been forever because of this. Last year, I could only get 2 insurance companies to quote us with a clean MC in Texas. They said, no, we're just not quoting nobody in Texas and California. The fraud and scams has gotten so bad, they're pretty much uninsurable. So what did that do? My insurance rates increases. But so
Right.
your brokers over there, your foreign agents have the location of the trucks, know what's loaded on the trucks, know they're high-valued loads. They reach out to one of their cartel members that's got a trucking company over there, that's got a driver over here, and they tell them, hey, go get this load, and then the load disappears. But it still negatively impacts the whole American supply chain. It runs downhill.
Oh yeah, it does for sure. I mean, and this is why, like, one of the things that we would like to see happen, and we'll eventually get into this one. We're starting with like some of the hours of service changes we'd like to see, or we've talked to other people and stuff. Is making it to where that anyone or any entity, I should say, that is going to go for an MC or a brokerage, you have to have a unique address and phone number in the United States. And it can't, so basically, where I'm sure you've seen it or talked to people that have seen it, where you'll see 30 or 40 DOT numbers out of the same address. It's like, no, that doesn't work that way. And that's how a lot of it gets around, is because, they put those big server banks in for the phones and stuff like that. And so, yeah. And all it is a mail slot. It's basically a P.O. box, if you will, in the room there. So that's one of the things we'd like to see changed, is that if you're going to do it, you got to have a unique address and a unique phone number.
Well, you better be careful. There's motor carriers out there that do the same damn thing.
Well, this is what it goes across. This is an industry thing across, though, Laura. This is so that we have those ones that are the carriers that we've all seen the videos of them in the fuel island, and they're changing their DOT number. Okay, that dog don't hunt for me. It don't. That dog does not hunt for me. So this is where you have to, if they're going to have a unique address and a unique phone number to be able to have an MC, because any carrier has to have the MC. You can be you can get a DOT number. You're just not able to carry freight. I mean, I'm looking at TA right now. They've got a DOT number on the side of their truck, but they don't have an MC number because they're not a for-hire carrier. That's why when I laughed when FMCSA came out and they said, oh, by the October of 25, we're going to get rid of the MC number. Well, then what kind of an identifier are you going to put out there for the for a motor carrier? because brokers don't have, you know what I mean? Like there's a whole different ball game for all of that. So
let me point something out, y'all, and this is something we need to be conscious and aware of, and we need to talk about.
In 600 feet, take a slight left to stay on Forney Road.
The problem is, watch out, make sure you're not going in the ditch there, bro. But anyways, the problem we're facing is systemic. Okay, we can look at the foreign occupation of the brokers, the carriers, the truckers. That is a symptom. That's a symptom of the disease. The disease is lack of oversight and enforcement at the federal level and the state level. So until we address and get change at a state level, I'm more of a state level guy. I mean, if we can get every one of these states to get on board, who cares what the federal does?
Right.
But the states have the duty to enforce the regulations by the federal, but they're not doing it. We've seen it, and we've seen it, and we've seen it, and we've seen them overrun our industry. So we can focus on the symptoms, but the only way we get rid of the disease is focus on the systemic failures of the FMCSA, DOT, CVSA, NST, what is it, National Transportation Safety Administration. All these administrations is put there for oversight and protection of not only our jobs, but the public. They're the ones that have failed us. And until we go back and address them and get movement there, then we're in status quo, because nothing will change until we get brokers, carriers, and shippers held accountable for the people that they're contracting and the people that they're allowing to run their freight. That's what's created the safety crisis we're in.
Well, yeah, and I firmly believe and agree with what you're saying there on a state level. I don't know if you've heard any of our podcasts, but Matt and I are firm believers, and you have to make a change at the state level. And the main reason why I say this is one of the most controversial topics that's happened over the last 2 decades was gay marriage. Okay? And literally the gay marriage came through, and it literally came through based off of the whole thing of it went state to state. This state started legalizing it, then this state legalized it, this state legalized it. Before you knew it, there was like 42 of the 50 states had legalized it, and the federal government had to go through and they had to make a decision finally. And I think that's what actually is going to wind up happening here if we can get the states on board. So
I agree 100%. Hey, y'all, I just jumped in for a minute, man. Y'all send me a follow when y'all have a live. Let me know, and I'll try to come in, man, when I got time. I appreciate it. Y'all are on point, man. Y'all are headed the right direction. We just got to – here's the big deal. We got to unite and come together and stand together to combat the fraud and scam and the places the industry is now. I don't know if y'all know this, but Pink Cheetah Express also filed a FOIA, and as of from January 1st of 2021 to November of 2024, we lost over about 506,000. That's 506,000 carriers, authorities, not truckers, carriers, has gone out of business in the last 3.5 years. Who do you think is going out of business? We're the ones going out of business because we can't compete with the ones that can run it cheap because they're based overseas and using cheap drivers. That's plain and simply it. That is what has exasperated the safety crisis, is the fact that we're going out of business. The solid, responsible American carriers are going out of business, and we're being replaced by the ones that are not. So it's important that we stay on that too, right? But I appreciate y'all, man.
And I agree with what you said too, but I will say this as well. The topics we're talking about are super important, but there's other things that carriers are uncovering that are not getting handled. I'm dealing with the state of Colorado right now that is charging specific ownership tax based on MSRP, not purchase price. And it's cost my company $11,000 in the last 5 years, and I have no way to recoup it because there's nobody in Washington, D.C. to manage it. If you go on the IRP website, they tell you to contact your state. You contact the state, they're not doing anything wrong, so I have no recourse. It is ridiculous. Yep. There's a lot more shit going on in the background that we don't get help with, that, you know what, we probably could operate it a lot cheaper if we didn't get screwed by every government agency out here.
Well, the fact is that we're running legal and they're not running legal. We've seen the ghost ELDs, the ghost drivers, unlimited time clocks. You know, them putting one truck on insurance and running 5.
Right.
And literally, we're out here beating our head against the wall, trying to compete with their rates when we can't do it.
Amen.
Look at the state of Delaware. Delaware don't require a lot of submissions about who the beneficiary of the business. Look how many businesses are out of Delaware versus other states that are more strict. So we got to get the states to recognize that they have a problem with who they're allowing to come in and work out of their jurisdictions, and who's actually domiciled here and who's not.
Amen.
Yeah.
Preach.
And unfortunately, it is one of a million problems that the states are dealing with. And I truly believe that they're almost overloaded with some of it because of the amount of problems that the federal government has created from the lack of oversight that they were supposed to be doing. And then, like what you were just speaking about there, Laura, of, well, I contact the IRP, they kick it back down to the state. Well,
No, there is no contact for IRP. It's only the state. Your base plate state. That's it. There is no.
What I'm saying. Yeah, but what I'm saying is you have the IRP, which is supposed to be that federal type entity, but it's kicked back down to the state to deal with.
Correct.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you would think that they've made this thing, the federal government has the IRP, but they're not doing any oversight. It's literally kicked back down to the state. It's the same way with a lot of that stuff, though.
Talking on what he was talking about a minute ago about them putting one truck on their insurance and running 4. So recently I got a call from a Love's out in Friendly, Nevada, and they was asking me if I was going to pay my bill for a reefer repair that I had. And I was like, I don't own any reefers. And they was like, yeah, the magnet, the sticker is right here on the side of the truck. They had somehow got my information and was running my name on the side of their truck with a magnet. So the Loves ended up calling the cops, and the driver got arrested. Sadly, though, the driver was American, and it was a foreign company.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't surprise me at all.
They'll be safe. It's all out of later.
Hey, you too, sir. It was enjoyable to talk to you. Well, I see Lost and Found finally made his way in here. I'd like to hear what he's got to say.
I was just going to say, he said he wasn't going to come up, but he did, and I'm so happy he did. That is freaking awesome.
You and me as well. Yes, I would love to hear what he has to say.
Okay. Good afternoon to everyone. I don't have a lot of time. I'm just in between meetings here. I will stay, and I will answer any question, honestly and factually, until I get besmirched. And then when somebody wants to start to argue because they think that their position is right, instead of de-escalating and talking like a reasonable, rational person, there we go. Then I will exit. I will stay for probably a half hour. Okay, so what I'd like to say is you people should be very much proud of yourselves, and the respect that you've shown each other today is absolutely incredible. It is just amazing. The problem is there is so many elements in this business now. An element is a separate identity, a separate segment that the state and the government have never seen this before, and neither have I. And I've been around too long, trust me. And because of this, there is not the fusion in the state and the federal government that needs to be. And then what happens is somebody's ego gets out of line, gets out of joint, whether it be at a state, regional level, and or a federal level, and the situation bogs down. never in a million years did I feel ever that we would have people in the business operating in a foreign environment, okay, with taking an assumed American, Canadian, or Mexican identity. Never in a million years did I ever think that I would see it, and yet I run into it occasionally, and it causes problems. It causes problems for the state people because they don't know how to deal with it. The state people themselves are generally good, honest, decent people, but they really don't understand the industry, damn it. They get involved, they get these jobs, and then it becomes protectionism because they want to keep their income. Nobody faults them for that. But at the end of the day, the motor carriers and the drivers are the ones that usually feel the pain. I'll be silent. Let's hear your input.
Well, no, I 100% agree with you, sir. I mean, I've been in this industry almost 30 years myself. So, and I know you told me that last night, you know, that you've been around 30 years or around 30 years. So, and I can tell you, you know, when I got in the industry back here in the late 90s, I was learning from, at that point, at the age of 18, I was learning from a lot of the old school guys and gals that had, you know, when they were around previous to the deregulation. So I got to hear and learn quite a bit about that time frame in our industry and the changes that happened and how the industry kind of changed over. And, you know, I can remember, you know, it was always, everything was always American. It was, the brokers were from America. You didn't have as much of the Canadian and Mexican cross-bordering of the freight, if you will. And so it was basically everything was, and then now, like you say, we have this huge problem now to where we have these brokers or dispatching services or whatever their entity is that's in, I don't know, Timbuktu, Turkey, and they, you know, there's no oversight for them. And there's no recourse that can really happen. You know, I mean, I know some of them I've heard are in non-extradition treaty countries. So, I mean, even if you wanted to bring some sort of litigation against them, I don't even know if you could, you know? Well, so it's insane to me.
Valid point. Now you want to discuss litigation. The quickest, fastest, easiest way to litigation is small claims, okay? It's values now in some jurisdictions up to $30,000 plus or minus. Usually you can go in there with a set of honest, clear facts. No conjecture, okay? So what you've got is you've got an email, you've got a load sheet, you've got an invoice, you've got a clean bill of lading, and any accessory charge accounted for. And all you're saying is, where's my money? And that is the fastest, quickest, smartest way. Now, this is where it comes transactional. How do you get it out of a foreign entity? And the answer is, sadly, they beat the system. In defense, the state, federal, okay, they never anticipated this. They never saw this coming. How could they? How would they? But now it's here, and it's morphed into several levels. Okay? They can't deal with it. And so, in essence, what they've done, I believe, is go into foxhole management where they virtually buried their head in the sand. Not because they want to, it's because they don't know what else to do.
Well, I have to ask a question there real quick, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I'll answer.
So, well, it kind of goes, and we've all been seeing this for, I don't know what, 20, 30 years now, more of this world economy side. You know, we've gotten more into where that we're trading more with the other countries in the world. They're trading more with us. I mean, obviously the everyone knows the huge influx of Chinese goods that comes into the country. I kind of have to look when you say they didn't see it coming. I kind of have to ask the question, with having a world economy and going towards that direction, if you will. How did they not see it coming potentially? I guess is the question I would have for that.
Because they're bureaucrats. They're not transportation people. Okay.
I can see that. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, that would be my answer. Now I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay.
What has been one of the most significant changes in transportation over the last 15 years in goods movement? In goods movement.
The most significant in goods movement?
Yeah.
Oh, in the last 15 years. So, are we talking about cost? The most significant cost change, or
no?
What?
I'll make it easy where I'm going. I'll make it easy.
Okay. Okay.
The container. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm on board with you. We're on the same page now. Yes, sir. I got you. Okay.
Now think of this. Your containers went from 20 feet. They went from 40 feet. They went from 53 feet. Okay.
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
A shipper can load Ex Works, Zurich, Switzerland, Vietnam, okay, Australia, throw it in that 53-foot box, put an advanced seal on it, okay, cut one set of paperwork, okay, so said container Ex Works goes on a ship, okay, goes to destination, clears customs. Customs may bring it in, not a problem. They may let it go. Customs can't compete with all this volume of freight.
No.
They just can't.
God, no.
Let's So what happens is it's on a rail and arrives at your dock. Okay?
Yep.
That is one of the most significant changes in transportation.
Yeah, now I understand what you were asking. The most significant
I will
type
go deeper.
of transportation there. Yeah.
I will go deeper because now the double stack. I know that because I used to work for a truck company. Yeah, a truck company, RJ Common. I used to work for him. And so they enlarged the tunnel to have double stack. So they do double stack on that stuff. But still again, those shipments coming overseas or from anywhere, you have so many short line. The line from CSX, BNSF, those are long haul, but they cannot connect A to B to the shipper. You still need truck to move those freight from Chicago.
What he's saying, Pablo, is this is one of the largest changes in the industry in the last 15 years.
Yes.
Is the container count that we have seen come into the country.
Absolutely.
Before, and he's right. 15 years ago, I would see periodically, but you never did see like almost every day. And now, I mean, I could even go as far as saying, on the rail side of transportation, all of a sudden about probably 7, 8, maybe 10 years ago, the double stack that you talked about, to get around some of the tunnel redesign, they went to belly loading and developed a whole new train car to hold the container in to where it sat halfway down in. It sits lower on the track, so they didn't have to redesign the tunnels like you talk about. So yeah, I mean that's and also, is like he said, the CBP, Customs and Border Patrol, them men and women have their hands so full between the customs side of it, of like you talk about bringing all the containers in, the illegal immigration, the drug trafficking and people trafficking that goes on at the border. I know I'm not a fan of law enforcement, but at the same time, I will say to do that job I can respect it enough to say that it has got to be immensely difficult.
Then on the trucking business, the two major company, GB Hunt are maybe the number one on a trucking company, signing deal with NS, BNSF, and CSX. The number two is actually Schneider. Schneider, they buy their own ship.
Yeah.
They buy their own
they
ship and their container to go from China to US. So
Yeah.
the two major trucking company,
Okay.
GB Hunt and Schneider, they use the train industry.
If I may, China to U.S. shipping is controlled by who? China shipping.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
China shipping. Okay.
Yeah.
They will allow others to marginally participate. Okay. And the reason why they do it is so they can go to trade negotiations. They can say, what do you mean? We wouldn't do that. We're the nice people. We could have 100% of this, but we only take 90, and we give other people who bought ships. Now, historically, they will not buy a ship. Okay, they will lease a ship from a tramp liner, TRAMP. And these tramp liners, going back to the deregulated days of trucking, are virtually like gypsy truckers. That's what they are. They have a base identity, which is foreign. They have foreign ownership and a crew from third world, in which I believe they hold hostage. I could be wrong, but there's reports.
I'm going to probably say you're closer to right than you are wrong, sir.
And they don't pay them. They pay them marginal what they're worth. Okay? So that's what they do. And the reason why they do it is because of the legal liability and what they don't want. That's the same scenario as in motor carriage, where someone will put a contractor under it, okay, in order to protect their legal liability. Okay, and that's where it is. So once again, 10 years ago, this was not an issue and never discussed.
Right.
Okay, so what do you think a government's response is reasonable and fair?
It should not be for me.
That's the question. And now you've got...
So this is to answer that question real quickly, the response from the federal government, the main one that we need is, if we're going to say that we need a response from the federal government, which I'm a firm believer we need to repeal a lot of the regulation that is there, but the response we need is just follow what it is that you have put down. If you're going to say that everyone needs to be English speaking to drive a truck, then by God, let's be that way. If you're going to say that and this goes also as well for the non-domicile, and I say this based off of the DACA situation, I feel for the non-domicile drivers that have the DACA situation.
Agreed.
And the reason being is because the federal government has dragged their feet so bad on dealing with this situation that these men and women have had to deal with, because they were brought here as 2-year-olds, had no choice in it. There's no reason that we can't just figure it out and go, okay, they're here, they're working, they're doing the right thing, they want to stay here and work, we give them their citizenship. I understand they were 2 years old when they came here, but you know what? The last time I checked, a 2-year-old baby cannot survive on its own. Most of them are still trying to learn how to walk. They can't even figure out how to not poop in their diaper yet. So they had no control over that situation. They need to bring action. They need to just say enough's enough with the back and forth bullshit between the red and the blue and the Republican and the Democrat and the da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. and to have some consideration and compassion for the people that are here. Now, I can understand if you want to say, well, this individual here committed all of these crimes. You know, they did some really bad things. Basically felony 1, felony 2 type crimes. I'm not talking about they got a traffic ticket because they accidentally ran a stop sign. I'm talking about they did some really bad things. If they have some of that stuff in their past, okay, maybe we need to make a different decision there. But if they're just men and women that are just going to work every day and they're just trying to feed their families, we need to knock off the bullshit. We really do. And we need to move forward with this because there's so much gray area right now from everything that I'm reading and hearing and learning from people and watching and stuff that it's astounding, extraordinarily astounding how gray the area is there for the DACA and the non-domicile CDL. You know, I mean, it's crazy to me.
Okay,
So we need the government to actually go through and follow the rules that they put to get back on track there.
If I may, sir, there's never been a time in history where it has been this, what's the word I want to, this confusing and this transcendental. Transcendental means busy. It's full of conjecture. Okay, what I don't understand, and this is off topic, and this is the problem when you get into this SHIT, because there's so many tentacles you can go down. I cannot understand how that southern border was open for as long as it did with very limited oversight. Okay, last time I was in Chicago, I could not believe the amount of Hispanics, not being racial, not being mean, not being rude, that were in there. And sadly, I felt like a foreigner. And I just could not believe it. In the lower end of the spectrum that, let's say, your Afro-Americans would have, not being racist, your waitresses' jobs, your bed cleaners, etc., like that. Now they're taken by these Hispanics. And so it's trickled down economics all over. It's all throughout the system. And we as a society have never experienced that. Okay, now what I'd like to briefly talk about is Mr. McGowan. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Mag Daddy's in here. We're going to enjoy this conversation.
Oh,
aren't we,
boy.
hon?
Me too.
Okay, because you've got Curly, Larry, and Flo. Okay, you got Messer McGowan, you got Messer Vince, and you got Messer Pontificator.
Yeah.
Okay, and what they do is they cause nothing but disruption.
Yeah.
Because what they're trying to do is unconstitutional. And they've been told that. But yet they continue to pontificate, as what one of them calls themselves. Okay. This narrow-minded agenda. And not one of them has, and I've confronted them. I'll tell you, I ain't getting a Christmas card from them, man. So, and the reality is, what they would do is virtually push the U.S. economy over the hill and put it in a deep recession.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Your gross domestic product would drop anywhere between 8 to 11%.
And that is a depression, then at that point, not a recession, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, yeah, I didn't want, I'm not into scare tactics. I'm into facts.
I'm just saying facts.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, a GDP that drops that much actually becomes what they classify as a depression. I'm asking basically a question, I should say.
So when you start talking numbers with these people, and I don't know if you've heard Audrey or not.
Oh, we've had personal conversations, Audrey and I have, yes.
Oh, Audrey's wonderful.
She is very wonderful, very knowledgeable lady.
She's got a couple masters. She writes policy, And she has tried to talk to Curly,
she's-
Larry, and Flo. Okay. And
Yep.
Curly, Larry, and Flo won't listen to her. And
They won't listen to anyone.
no, except themselves. Okay. But fundamentally, at some point in time, so one of them is going to try and outsmart the system again, and go park their camper in Washington. Okay. And they're going to try and derive an income from this. And that's what scares me. They're already talking about this load board at $150, etc., like that. But here's the reality. And I asked them this question point blank. What are you going to have when you have a catastrophic loss in real time? Who is going to protect you from that? On top of that, what type of legal fund are you going to be able to put in escrow to have care and control and or maintain a legal situation? You're not. And then to add to this, at $150 a load, what happens if you have a major shipper default on you people? What are you going to do?
So this is one thing I will tell you when it comes to that whole load board that they have. Laura actually dove into that. And she's the Trucking by the Grace of God. She's our chief interpersonal relations with the FOPT. And she dove into it. Their broker authority is actually revoked, sir.
And I understand one of the three is involved in a pretty severe lawsuit. Okay.
That would be the pontificator, if I'm not mistaken.
I did not say that. Okay.
I did. I know you didn't, but I did.
Just be
I'm
very
just
careful.
going off of the rumors. I will say rumor has it. We will put it that way. Rumor has it.
Okay.
Well, what I'm going
Go
to
ahead,
say,
sir.
what I'm
Go
going
ahead.
to
I'll
say,
be silent.
what I'm going to say is all those people try to make like those $5 a miles and all the BS. Those are scammer. I call that scammer. They're not here to help the trucking industry. They are here to put drama, to put people give money away, so those people can get money. They are not here to help any kind of trucking industry.
Well, that's exactly what I'm trying to get to. Now,
Yes.
if you want to talk just briefly, and I don't mean to shut you off, I got to go here. If we can talk about the elements in the reason for the judge's decision between Pink Cheetah and TQL. Okay. The issue is there was a breach. The gentleman from Texas is 100%. On top of that, you read your TQL load sheet. Okay. Where is all legal action controlled out of? It's controlled out of the county in Cincinnati where they're from. And they are one of the biggest employers there. And it's like in Sandusky, Ohio, there's an amusement park. Okay.
Six
It's a
Flags.
beautiful park. I've been there. I may be a Six Flags now, but you know,
Like now.
any lawsuit has to go through that county. And that business has never lost a lawsuit. Why? And it's the very same way with the courts in Cincinnati. Because what TQL have done is they positioned themselves, okay, on an economic employment level, et cetera, like that, where they are ruthless in that county, and they try to care and control of what they've done. It's like when MS Carrier started in Memphis. I don't know if any of you remember Mike Starr and Woody Welch,
Yeah.
Craig Coyne, et cetera, like that. Their raison d'etre was clear, pure, and simple. What they wanted to do was control a 1 mile radius around Memphis, then went to a 2 mile, then went to a 5 mile, then went to a 15 mile, et cetera, like that. And they were able to land FedEx. And the cost of running Motor Express on just in time is much cheaper than operating an aircraft. So that's what they were able to do, especially on the weekends. So you'd have these truck operators that were slip seat, would leave Sunday, would come back home from Ontario, Quebec, Los Angeles, arrive back Thursday, and then you would have these FedEx shipments coming in and leaving 0200 Saturday. So they would put them on rubber. They would run them OTR. And so it enhanced the revenue position of the motor carrier like you wouldn't believe, because instead of the 12.4 that they were allotted for miles for that month, you know, they were touching the 14, 15 if they could use the asset on the weekend. And that is a huge difference. When you can increase your capacity, your fixed costs remain the same, but you can do that. And they negotiated 7-day payment with FedEx, which was amazing. So that's, you know, that's where that is. Now, what TQL has tried to do, and in some ways they've done it well, but they're almost like General Motors, where they thought they were too big to fail. Okay. And what they're doing is these people they're hiring for no fault of theirs, trying to make a living, are failing not only the industry, not only the company, but failing themselves. Okay. And they don't care anymore. They don't understand what they're doing because they don't have the courage of their own convictions to step back and identify what they're doing is wrong. I'll be silent. I'll be silent.
There's definitely a lot to unpack there. I will definitely tell you that.
There is.
You know, that's a lot to unpack.
See, obviously with the TQL, I know they have some contract that it was done, but the basic is that if a carrier sends a red gun, you have no right to bitch about the rates. If you agree to the rate, you sign a red gun, you don't have no right to see if the broker make 40, 50%, 60%, or 80% of the load. That's not your business.
Well, okay. At the end of the day, I have a real problem with this. My brokerage is net 14 to 16%. Okay. I'm not seeing these, 70, 80 percentile load. I'm not. And, maybe
aren't.
I'm. What's that, sir?
Most aren't seeing 70,
They're
80,
not.
and 90%.
They're not. And for Curly, Larry, and Flo to stand there with their hands out, it just defies simple logic. And you can't talk to them. And you see how we're having a peaceful, rational conversation here? And this is the way it should be. There's no bad people here. The fundamental question is, no one knows how to fix this. That's the problem, because it's become too problemized. Okay? And
Well, I think I've got a decent idea. I will say that. I'm not going to say that I'm the end all be all to knowledge, but I think I have a decent idea of how to fix it. But it's going to take a lot of work.
There you go.
Matt and myself have talked about this. Pablo, you've talked about it with us. Is one of the things that we talk about is that this is beyond David and Goliath, if you will. And the reason why I say that is because money is the root of all evil. Okay, and that's what all of this revolves around, is money, basically. The broker's making X amount of money. The carrier's wanting to make X amount of money. The mega corporations are wanting to make X amount of money and keep X amount of money. And so, like, when you start diving into some of this and you look at what you are up against to make the changes, you're literally going up against one of the largest, and I believe they're a hedge fund, BlackRock. Because BlackRock owns upwards of 10% of every publicly traded mega carrier. So the only way you're really going to be able to get any kind of traction is you're going to have to start at a local, community, county, state level, and you're going to have to get those states, all the states, to get on board with making these changes. Now, I know we could probably all sit here and argue what all of these changes are that need to be made, because let's be honest, we all have opinions and opinion. Oh, look at there. There is Miss Audrey right now. I'm going to see if I can get her to come in here. I just seen her pop in here. I would love to hear her take if she's been listening to this.
Hey, where's the shop? The 75 shop on the left, on the right side.
Where is she at? Where did she go?
Cupcake. Where is the shop? At Ballots?
Oh, the PA is on the right.
No, but you are where? On the right or the left side?
Oh, I'm over in the shop, dude. You pull in, you go past the fuel island, you'll see me.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
My orange Freightliner is hanging right out there. The guy's over there welding on the axle right now. So.
Oh no, let me go back in here. I was on the left, and I'm gonna go on the right.
Have we been talking for almost 2 hours now?
Fuck yes, man.
My goodness. Wow, this has been a long one. I didn't even realize that.
What color is your truck?
Orange Freightliner. It's literally poking out of the overhang.
Oh yeah, I saw it. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Is that you right there?
I don't see Audrey in here at the moment.
Well, she had poked in for a minute there, so.
Hey, wake up, Hawaii guy. Can you hear me?
Oh, I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. Where are you at?
I'm right at the front.
Look at this guy. Look at this guy.
I gotta get off of here
Let me
too.
go back
But
over there.
I want to extend another thank you to Lost and Found. I know he said he didn't want to come on, and he ended up coming on. And
yes,
I mean this dialect that happened today. We need more of this to even try to get a ball game together to know where we even start, because he's brought some things to the table that I'm sitting here going, really? So now, it's even more puzzling. But I just want to end it with this. Thank you for coming in. We need all people, period. I mean, even if they're right or wrong, we need to hear so we can either help them or learn from them, right? One or the other. So y'all have a great day. I'll talk to you all soon. Be safe.
Yes,
okay, thank you, ma'am. I
now.
have to go too. And my raison d'etre is I don't know it all. But I'm skilled. I'm a skilled enough communicator and have enough information of this industry in order to be able to spawn discussion. And that's where it is. I have to go. Everybody be strong, safe, and proud.
Yes, we all have to go at this point because I'm ending the live. So it was wonderful talking to you, sir. Meaning you'll have to talk again.
I'm not fucking up on the backup in here. Shit, man.